Well, howdy there, Pipers. It's your old boy Sasquatch Piper here again. Today, we have a request from a one-ray channeler to see how the old Sasquatch, or what the old Sasquatch uses for a rubber tip alternative. Now, rubber tip, he's speaking of these bits. I don't know, this is an old one. When I stopped you, I had one I found laying around. They stretch over your pipe like so. Pretty simple to put on. Okay, maybe not. Depends on the width of your, they make different size bits too. But you see how that's thick? It's a real chewy rubber. Well, what I do, this one's been gnawed on quite a bit, but you can see, let's see if we can get a good picture of the thickness difference. See that? I can't see the camera. Yeah, you can see for the most part. But we'll get more in depth on the desktop when I show you how to do this. But most importantly, you got to get another pipe going, and you got to put some tobacco in it and smoke it. So today I got my two-way sitter Boswell poker, and we got some of this here Cornell and Deal Pirate Cake. Isn't that pretty? And for a pipe that we're going to put a new bit on, we got my new Nearip that I'm choosing to actually smoke, even though I think it's way too pretty. That's with the bit. Anyhow, let's jump down to the desktop and figure out how we're going to do this. Welcome back. So here you have it. You have two similar pipes. Similar stems, and you can see the thickness difference. For me, this is like chewing on rubber. Well, because that's exactly what you're doing on either one of them, really. But I was going to give you a comparison, and then we'll touch this one up after we show you how to put one on this one. So what you first off is you need some of this heat shrink polyolefin heat shrink tube. You call it whatever you want. I always called it heat shrink vinyl tubing. It's for electrical connections, for wires. This is 3/8. You won't use this that much unless you have a lot of small stem pipes, like your smaller stuff like that. Or like on this corn cob right there. They're smaller. You could probably get that over those. But even though usually you're going to use a 1/2 inch, and here's what it looks like out of package. This is 1/2 inch. I don't have a 1/2 inch package. You'll be able to find this in any of your auto parts stores, hardware stores. Just go to wherever the electrical wiring is and they'll have it somewhere in there. Or I'm sure you can order it on Amazon too. So we're taking that off. And yeah, I've heard some people say that this is a permanent deal. It is not permanent. It does wear out. It depends how hard and how much you clench and chew on your, and how messed up your teeth are. This is not very squatchy of me, this video, but I'm really trying to help this guy out here because he requested it. So 1/2 inch is going to be your primary. Now you see, for your length, you're going to have to choose. That's going to become entirely up to you. I know generally what I like. So what I did from the beginning when I first did this is I took one of these bits like this and I held it on here, and then I held it just a little bit, as you can see there, a little bit longer, You might want one shorter, you might want one only where your teeth go. I want it to go over the lip on there. And then I just get a good, nice straight cut on there. Straighter the better for me. And this will, depending on, it doesn't have a lot of give, but it's got a little give. So, you know, be prepared. You might have to squeeze it on there pretty tightly. I like to push it on till you get, I want a little bit of hangover because I want it to wrap just a little bit. I want it to wrap this flat edge right here just to help hold it into place. And you have a few options of what you can do to shrink this tubing. You got to have a high dollar lighter and you got to have a cheap lighter, but not really. So pretty much you can have any kind of soft flame torch lighter. Heat gun works great. I just don't feel like getting that and hooking that all up. So I'm just going to use a cigar lighter, torch lighter. And what you want to do here is you want to heat this up without just completely melting it. So just be a little bit careful. It's not that critical. The heat gun is a real good option. How do I work this lighter again? Oh, there we go. So we got the lighter. See where our flame is. And you just want the heat to barely be touching that, and you'll see it start shrinking. You move it around a little bit. Don't get it too hot. You'll see that starts just shrinking around the stem. And it really is this easy. I probably spent a little bit too much time doing the heating part, but I want it to be stuck on there good. I want it to get on there and not slip off as little as possible. But I don't even really let any of the flame that you can visibly see. See, I let that get too hot. That's a great example. Now I'm just going to touch that down because it started melting, but I'm reshaping it. Kind of good I did that. I didn't do it intentionally though. Now I'm getting it to reshape before it just melts and makes a complete mess. But there, see how I just got that wrapped around there real tight and right? Same on this side. Too much talking while you're doing it. So you know that can happen. And you know, it's shrinking different sizes, so you got to pay mind to what and where. And you can basically do that by watching it. You'll see it actually. I don't know how good you can see it in the video. I apologize if you can't see it good, but that's a finished product right there. Here's a used one, and it's, you know, very similar pipe stems. This one's a little narrower, but see how it's chewed up from me gnawing on it, or just from my crooked teeth. And the teeth I choose to clench with is my canine. So we're just going to do the same thing. We're just going to lightly heat that up and get all those chew marks to flatten out. If you know, see now I chewed through here just because this isn't the first time I've done this. That's the only reason that happened. But just here's your example. And you know, I said people say this is permanent. I've heard somebody else say this is permanent. This is not permanent by any means. I mean, obviously it's not normally as easy to get off as one of those store-bought ones, but you're essentially, you know, some kind of vinyl or rubber, and there, you got it off. So clean that up a little bit. Let me get a rag here, and we'll do one more for you, and you know, try to get different angles and see. And also, you want to be sure not to heat your stem up too much. You know, you don't want to melt that. That will melt too if you get it too hot, just so you're aware right away. So I'm going to just kind of eyeball my length without using the other bit. That'll be plenty for me. There's that. Now remember, you can also get a real sharp, like a hobby razor or scalpel type thing, and you can your half, like I said, your 1/2 inch is your primary. This is 1/2 inch. And look at this one's a little wider. It's funny because this one's a little wider. And you can see how I'm kind of struggling to get this one on there. And heating it up before you put it on can just cause you more issues. So just fight the good fight. And I would pause and edit this video, but I kind of want you to see the good and bad of this. So you're just going to work that on there slowly but surely. You'll get it. And there is bigger sizes for your bigger pipes, like my Boswells. Some of my Boswells, I don't even have them on there because I don't have any bigger ones than 1/2 inch. I've been meaning to grab them, but I mean, you can see the trouble I'm having here, which is very odd, honestly. We're just going to take the stem out of the pipe, which is not a problem in any part of this process. Just open, fold, push, open, fold. If you get too irritated and you think it's good enough, you can heat shrink it and then just cut it to fit. You know, you don't want to scratch up your stem too much unless it's a beater and you don't care. But so that's honestly probably long enough for me. And you see how much extra I got on there? And now it's, you know, it's all stretching out and it's getting easier and easier to get down there. So I like to have it on the pipe solely just because of makes it easier to hold, honestly, than the little stem. As you can see, we have a little overlap there. Let's see if I can do this one. It's easier. I usually do it with a soft flame, but I just wanted to kind of do this fast. So you can see it tells you what it needs. You see it shrinking to fit, and that's the idea. So you get a more natural, maybe not a full natural feel, but a lot more natural than one of those rubber bits to me. And because I don't do this because I like it. I do this because, well, where I hold my pipe, my teeth are crooked right there, but that's the most comfortable spot for me to hold a pipe, and this is all about the goodness. But I prefer the soft flame. It's a little slower, but it seems like you have a little bit more control. And since I got one here, I'll go ahead and I can't show you as well either with the soft flame. You just kind of the same thing. Just keep going slowly, slowly. It melts into place, shrinks into place. There you have it. You have two newly bitted, or whatever you want to refer to it, pipe stems. Thanks for watching. Sasquatch Piper out.